Okay. So yeah, we mentioned just now quite quickly because the slide was actually ending. Yeah. So this financial S-curve, physical S-curve, it really tells the client what you've planned out to do, and at the end of each month or at the end of one period of time, they'll need to monitor the actual progress of work. So with the actual progress, what you can do is with financial, there's one way of looking at it, and then there's the physical, there's also another way of looking at it. Okay, so what happened is let's say for these physical ones once you've done your planning, okay, so you've shown your physical S-curve. Like I said, it's important because most client wants to know how you plan it and how they can match you, especially in terms of money. So let's say in terms of money, what they can do is like I said, government agency, they will actually at the end of the year, they need, if there's in that physical S-curve, if the cumulative has already gone up to a certain percentage, they will make sure that they are expecting some claims, they are expecting some money, they're expecting work to be done to that level, and then they'll be paying this much of money, especially in November and December and January. So they need to keep that money in with them, so then if the budget for next year comes in, it'll be for next year. So we do not want to return the budget to the finance ministry, so Ministry of Finance. Once we return it, it's very difficult to get back. The reason being, like, if I am the Minister of Finance, I know I have allocated, you told me this as amount of money that you will be spending for your project, but actually you did not, you see, and then you send it back to me. And then it means that I have not allocated the money efficiently to other projects that is needed my attention. The state has so many projects, the nation has so many projects. Your project is being confirmed go ahead already. The money is being given to you, and yet you did not spend the money efficiently. It's not because the client really wants to, the government really wants you to spend money, From private, it's very different. Private is like the less you spend, the better, like to keep the money, you see. But for government, is if you don't spend it, that means you are overblowing your budget. We are over allocating to you. Maybe it's to the road, maybe it's to the hydro dam, maybe it's to the water pipeline system, and yet I don't have enough money to allocate to electricity supplies, or I don't have enough of budget to allocate to drainage work, flooding mitigation. So everybody is fighting for more budgets, and yet you are not using your budget. So that is a mentality, especially when it comes to government agencies. See, so it's a bit different from private agency or private developers. So you have to be very careful. So once you plan out your planning of your S-curve, the client agree to that planning. So the first thing that you do is, of course, with the physical one, it's just like Gantt chart. This is exactly like tracking Gantt, okay? You are actually tracking your progress on site. So if let's say this is 444, your progress, and then you have done a fine 444, if you could have done 444, 362, it's okay, but it's not as you pick up, you see. So then you're actually marking down your actual progress. So there will be a part that you track your Gantt. And this is exactly what we've spoken about, during the time control. You need to put down physically how much work that has been done for that month. Even though it's been planned 5%. But if it's like 5, really 5, what does the 5 mean? You cannot say that, okay, just because of the month is up, you put a 5 day. You have to look at the physical work. If the physical work, if 5 means that the ground floor slab are all done, that means this 5, at this point in time, on the 7th day, if the floor slab is done, then you can put 5 here. So there must be an attachment to the real thing, it cannot be just any number that, we all suka hati ourselves and punch it in, and then do our paperwork. It's not like that, because this is serious consequences that you need to think of when we come to look at this later. When we come back tracking Gantt later, it really means that your project will be in delay or not, all that, see? And then, so with that, you are actually, putting it, say, your physical, so you actually do actual cumulative percentage as well, you see. So then you calculate, and then you will see, this is what we call earn value. Earn value is like the actual, how do I put this? This is actually going to EV technique already. So once you've done your plan value, whether this is a financial or physical, it doesn't matter. Even if it's financial, physical, but we will normally do that for financial. I will explain later on. So let's say this is just about work progress. Everything is 1%. Let's say, and then you're just doing this cumulative, and then this will be what we call the work performed. This is what we call the work schedule. So what we call this is called PV and this is called EV. So at any point in time, especially as the progress of the as the progress move on in the project, you will put in month one. Month one, you will draw a line down. Month two, you draw a line down. Month three, you draw a line down. Every month, you draw a line as a cut-off line. And every month, because your PV is already planned way early, so from the end, this line will be always there from the beginning to the end. And your EV, the earned value, is the actual work progress or your actual work performed. Okay? So when your actual work performed, you can just mark down. Okay, you can just mark down. Okay, like let's say if you put in 555, let's say you're doing a 7, you're doing this date, then this is actually 4, for example, 5554. So then you plot that line. You need to do exactly the same thing and you replot the line up to this point. It's always up to a certain point. EV will grow as the month progresses. So then the difference between the EV, that gap between the EV and PV, it will be what we call schedule variances. Okay, it will be what we call schedule variances. So if there is a negative number that you see, it means that your schedule is delayed already. Okay, it's a EV technique is like a controlling technique for both time and cost. So if let's say we're basing this on, we're looking at a physical S curve, So in this physical S curve, like I said, you've already do your EV, your PV. This is called PV. Okay, PV. Yeah. So you've already done your PV, and then your PV is this blue. So this blue is you've drawn this line. It's all cleared, all beautifully, map out. Then let's say at day 14, you draw a line. So your client wants to know, today is day 14. I want to know your progress, and immediately you need to detect that. Oh, are we in delay or are we actually on time? So the fastest way is not to go through your construction daily site record and flip and say, oh, I think we are, or you're going. The easiest way, of course, is to look at your tracking gun. So from your tracking gun, you can take the value, take the monthly take this value because you are tracking gun every week or every month. So this point in time, how many percentage, what percentage that you're putting down here at, let's say, this 14/5, this is the time that you're looking at. It's there already, okay? So then you need to have, put down all the numbers here. These numbers, every month, every day you put already up to this point. So then you add it up cumulatively, and then you will draw a line up to this point of 14. Get on 14. And then you take the difference between these two. If the number is the EV minus of the PV, work schedule and work perform, once you start to minus each other off, you will get what we call schedule variances. And schedule variances immediately, straight away from, don't even tracking gun. Even if you do a tracking gun, you can't really see that particular percentage of delay, see? But once you draw that line down and do your calculation immediately, it's a very simple, quick calculation because all these numbers is updated every month until the point that you are looking at. So you're just updating this particular bar only at this point, you see. And then once you do that, you just add it up, do your cumulative again. The yellow, you do your yellow cumulative lah. Then you draw the line up and then you get the difference. You just do mathematics up, PV minus EV, So EV minus PV lah. So after you minus that value, that will be your schedule variances. So you can tell your client, yeah, we are having delay. What is the numbers of delay?